The scream came from nowhere, sharp enough to cut through the rumble of engines, and laughter, like a knife-cut little girl, burst out from between two parked motorcycles. Her face streaked with tears, hair tangled, shoes mismatched. She couldn't have been more than 7. She ran straight toward the group of bikers, as if her life depended on it. Sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. "They're beating my mama," she cried. "Please, please help." The laughter stopped instantly. For a moment, the only sound left was the low idle of engines and the girl's broken breathing. Big men with leather vests, tattoos crawling up their arms, froze mid-motion. One of them had been lifting a soda to his mouth. Another had been tightening a glove. All eyes dropped to the trembling child clinging to the leg of the nearest. Biker-like, he was her last hope. The man she grabbed was called Hawk. He was built like a wall, broad shoulders, thick, beard, eyes that had seen too much of the road and life. People crossed the street when they saw him coming. Kids were warned about men who looked like him. But when he looked down at the little girl, something in his chest cracked open. "Easy, sweetheart," he said softly, kneeling so they were eye to eye. His voice, usually rough as gravel, dropped into something almost gentle. "Where's your mama?" The girl pointed with a shaking hand toward the row of run-down apartments across the street. And there she whimpered, "They're hurting her. They said I'd be next." Hawk's jaw tightened. He stood up slowly. Around him, the other bikers had already read his face. No words were needed. Years of riding together had taught them how to move as one. Rex, Hawk said quietly. A tall biker with gray in his beard nodded. "I'll stay with the kid." "Tank, Bishop, you're with me." Engines shut off. Gloves went on. Leather creaked. The air changed. The little girl watched as the bikers started moving toward the apartments, fear mixing with hope in her eyes. Rex crouched beside her and offered his jacket. "What's your name?" he asked Lily. She whispered. "Well, Lily," Rex said, wrapping the jacket around her small shoulders, "you did the bravest thing I've seen all day. Cross the street." Hawk and the others approached the building. It was one of those places everyone avoided peeling paint. Broken windows patched with cardboard, a hallway that smelled of mold and old anger. Hawk could already hear shouting echoing from inside. A woman screamed. Tank was the first to move faster. They took the stairs 2 at a time. On the second floor, the noise grew clearer, male voices, slurred with alcohol and cruelty, and the unmistakable sound of something hitting. Flush. Hawk kicked the door. It flew open with a crack that shook the frame. Inside, chaos froze mid-motion. 2 men stood over a woman curled on the floor, her arms raised uselessly over her head. Her lip was split, blood running down her chin. One man held a belt in his hand. The other turned, eyes widening when he saw 3 bikers filling the doorway like something out of a nightmare. "What the?" one of them started. Hawk didn't let him finish. "Step away from her," Hawk said, his voice low and deadly calm. The man laughed nervously. "This is family business. Get out." Tank slammed the door shut behind them. Bishop crossed his arms. "No," Hawk said. "This ends now." The men lunged. They never stood a chance. It wasn't rage that drove the bikers, it was control. Years of discipline, of knowing when to hit and when to stop. The fight was fast, brutal, and decisive. Within moments, both men were on the floor, groaning, unable to stand. Hawk knelt beside the woman. "It's over," he said gently. "You're safe." Her eyes were wide with terror, tears spilling freely. "My daughter," she whispered. "Lily, she's safe too," Hawk said. Waiting outside, the woman broke down sobbing, clutching his arm like it was the only solid thing left in her world. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Someone downstairs must have called them. "Let's go," Tank said. Hawk nodded. "We'll tell them everything." When they returned outside, Lily ran to her mother, crashing into her arms so hard they nearly fell. The bikers stood back, giving them space. Rex wiped his eyes with the back of his hand and pretended it was just dust. The police arrived quickly. Statements were taken. The 2 men were arrested, hauled away still cursing. The woman, whose name was Maria, held Lily the entire time, her hands shaking. When it was over, she turned to Hawk. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. Hawk shrugged. "You already did. You trusted us." Life didn't magically become easy after that day. Maria and Lily spent nights in a shelter. Maria struggled with shame, with guilt for staying too long, with fear that the men would come back. Lily had nightmares. Loud noises made her flinch, but something unexpected happened. The bikers didn't disappear. They helped Maria move into a small, safe apartment across town. They fixed a broken door, replaced a cracked window. One of them knew a guy who helped Maria find a job at a diner. Rex showed up once a week with groceries by accident. Tank scared off anyone who looked at Maria the wrong way, just by standing there silently. Lily started to smile again. She'd wait by the window on Saturdays because that's when the motorcycles came. The rumble used to scare her. Now it made her grin. Months passed. One afternoon, Lily stood in front of her class for show and tell. She held up a small leather patch with a biker emblem. "These are my heroes," she said proudly. "They saved my mama." The teacher swallowed hard. Years later, Lily would remember that day as the moment she learned something important. That kindness doesn't always look soft. And heroes don't always wear capes. The bikers went back to their lives, back to the road, back to being misunderstood by most of the world. But every time they passed that apartment building, Hawk felt lighter. Like maybe, just maybe, the world wasn't as broken as it seemed. Because sometimes all it takes is one brave child. And a few good people willing to stand up. If this story moved you, please comment below and share your thoughts. Your words might inspire someone who needs hope today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our channel. Be kind always. Where we believe compassion can change lives, one story at a time.